Why is there a limit of exactly 21 million BTC instead of any other number? The 21 million limit isn't just a random number Satoshi Nakamoto pulled out of thin air while sipping coffee. It is the result of a precise mathematical formula embedded in Bitcoin's source code, designed to mimic the properties of a finite physical resource like gold. Here's the deep dive into the why and how behind the 21 million cap. 1. The mathematical origin. The halving cycle Bitcoin. As supply is controlled by two main variables, the block reward and the halving interval. The reward. When Bitcoin started in 2009, the reward for mining a block was 50 BTC. The interval. The code specifies that this reward cuts in half every 210,000 blocks. The timing. Since a new block is mined approximately every 10 minutes, 210,000 blocks take roughly 4 years to complete. Mathematically, this creates a geometric series. The total supply is the sum of all block rewards. The total supply is equal to 210,000 multiplied by the summation from n equals 0 to 32 of the fraction 50 divided by 2 to the power of n. In this equation, n represents the number of halving events. Because the reward is halved every cycle, the sum eventually converges. Since Bitcoin's smallest unit, a Satoshi, cannot be divided further than 8 decimal places, the reward eventually hits 0 after 33 halvings, expected around the year 2140. 2. Why 21 million specifically? While the math explains how the limit is reached, it doesn't explain why Satoshi chose 21 instead of 100 million or 1 billion. Based on Satoshi's emails and the economic climate of 2008, there are two primary theories. A. The M1 money supply alignment. At the time of Bitcoin's creation, the total global M1 money supply, physical cash and checking accounts, was approximately $21 trillion. By setting the limit at 21 million, Satoshi ensured that 1 BTC could eventually be worth $1 million if it ever replaced the global money supply. And 1 Satoshi, $0.00001 BTC, would equal 1 cent, 1 cent. It was a way to ensure the units remained practical for both macro and micro transactions. B. The 10-minute block math. Satoshi likely wanted a supply that felt scarce, but allowed for enough granularity. If you multiply the average number of blocks per 4-year cycle by the sum of the rewards, you get 210,000 blocks per cycle. Asterisk 50, initial reward. Asterisk 2, to account for the geometric sum, equals 21 million. It's a clean number that fits perfectly within the constraints of standard 64-bit floating-point integers used in programming, avoiding potential calculation overflows that could have broken the network. 3. The actual number is slightly less if you want to be pedantic, the best kind of correct in computer science. The total number of bitcoins will never actually reach 21 million. To rounding errors in the code's bit shift operations, the maximum supply is actually 20,999,999.9769 BTC. Furthermore, because of lost private keys, the famous Genesis block reward that can be spent, and people sending BTC to burn addresses, the circulating supply will always be significantly lower than the theoretical limit. 4. Economic philosophy. Absolute scarcity in traditional finance. Central banks can print money, quantitative easing, which devalues the currency, inflation. Satoshi's decision to hard cap the supply was a direct response to the 2008 financial crisis. By making Bitcoin deflationary, or at least disinflationary, it creates predictability. Everyone knows the exact inflation rate of Bitcoin. Incentive to hold. Since no more can be printed, the value should theoretically increase as demand rises against a fixed supply. Fun fact: because Bitcoin is divisible down to 100 million pieces, Satoshis, even with only 21 million BTC, there are enough units for every person on Earth to own thousands of Satoshis.